What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxiie with Roxiie Says, and we're going to talk about it. Today, we are reviewing The Ultimatum Season 3, Episode 6. These people stressed me out in this episode. I'm not even going to lie to you, so let's get right into it. But before we do, please don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you are made aware every time I post a new video. So this episode opens up with everyone coming back from the cocktail party. They show all of the couples greeting each other, hugging, and asking, hey, how was it? You know, normal stuff, right? But when Zena goes to her apartment and she says, hey to Scotty, he gives her a look and does a what up? And Zena's face is like, and she goes and she asks him if he's okay. And he's just like, And he keeps doing whatever it is that he was doing. So Zena says, clearly something is wrong, so just let me know when you're ready to talk about it. And he goes to the counter and he is just staring at her. And you see that look that Scotty was giving? That would have been my cue to get up out of there. But eventually he speaks and he asks Zena if he's ever spoken negatively about JR to her. And Zena, she looks like, you haven't talked about him directly, but what happened with the guys? Like, why are you acting like this? And why are you bringing this energy to me right now? So Scotty finally tells her about the conversation with JR where he accused Scotty of spreading the hall pass rumors in order to cast doubt in Zena's head. That's what Scotty thinks happened, okay? And he's like, I would never do that. And he was coming at me wild. And who the F does he think I am? This is unacceptable. And Zena was like, so you automatically think that it's me who told JR that because that's the energy that you're giving. And Scotty claims that he's not giving her any energy. He's just frustrated that someone would misunderstand his character, okay? Then he starts running down a list. I don't care how much he weighs. I don't care how much he lifts. I don't care how big he thinks he is. I don't play that. I don't play that. And I kid you not, as he was doing this, I was yelling at my computer screen, where was all of this energy when you were in JR's face? Because you were just there with him and you ain't say any of this, Scotty. You didn't say any of this. If I was Zena in that moment, the way I would have told Scotty, take his weird ass downstairs so he could say all of this to JR and not to me, because baby, I ain't do a damn thing to you, okay? But Zena asked Scotty if he was intimidated. And when I tell you I hit pause, and I laughed for a good 2 minutes. I laughed for a good 2 minutes. I kid you not. And then when I hit play and Scotty's response was, hell no. You think I'm intimidated? Do you think I'm intimidated? I'm not intimidated. What relevance does that even have to this conversation? A whole lot, Scotty. A whole lot. And then I laughed for another 2 minutes. So Zena then tells him, I need you to take a minute, separate your anger because I did nothing to you and you're taking this out on me. And with a straight face, Scotty says, I'm not taking it out on you. And then he asks Zena why she's raising her voice when he was the one who has been yelling this entire time. Oh, so only you're allowed to yell, Scotty. No one else can raise their voice at you. Only you? Okay, got it. And again, she tells him to take some deep breaths. She has to speak to him like a little baby and tells him to calm down. And we can have an adult conversation about what happens when you do. And he's like, okay, that's fair. So he finally lowers his voice a little bit. And then he asks her if she has spoken to JR at all. And Zena says that her and JR detached completely for this experience. But the way that he is asking these questions, it's very accusatory. And he's like, I'm not accusing you. I just want clarification. All right, Scotty, but that is not how you go about it if that's what you're after. And Zena says that he took the situation that happened somewhere else, right? And he brought it here to her. And she then tells him that he needs to take accountability for that. And Scotty says, I'm sorry if. Hold up. No. Run it back. Run it back. Don't apologize with no if, because there are no if, ands, or buts about what just came out of your mouth, okay? So Zena is still like, okay, well, I'm glad that we were able to de-escalate this situation. Just try to be more aware when you get like that. And he's like, do you accept my apology? And she's like, I might need a shot, okay? Because that was a lot. And then they start smiling and he says, ooh, you look real good in that dress. And he hugs her and he thanks her for being so resolution-based. And that's the end of that scene. But y'all already know that I have a whole lot to say about it. Scotty is a bitch, okay? Scotty's a little bitch. He's the type where y'all will go out and you're looking all good, you feeling yourself, and you part with him to like go to the restroom or something. And on your way to the restroom, some other guy who you don't know He compliments you and you might say thank you. You might not say anything at all. You might just keep going about your business. But when you come back from that restroom, oh, he's mad. Oh, he's mad and he's not talking to you and the night is ruined. So then y'all got to go home, right? And then when y'all get home, he starts yelling and cursing at you and calling you names and telling you that it's your fault and you should have never worn that dress and how you embarrassed him. And in some situations, it escalates even more. Like I said before, Scotty knows who to have this energy with and who not to have this energy with. He didn't have it with JR, okay? Because he's scared of JR, but he did it with Caleb. He did it with Arya. And he just did it with Zena. And I know this is just a reality show, but there are impressionable people watching these shows. And there's absolutely nothing funny or cute about that makeup that we just saw. It really pissed me off, to be honest. I would have much rather seen Zena separate herself from Scotty immediately. It is not our job to endure verbal abuse and to have to talk people off the ledge and say, oh, when he gets like that, I'm the only one who could calm him down. No, because Scotty is clearly insecure, intimidated, and dangerous. And make sure that if you see or witness someone talking to or treating their ex crazy, don't think that you're going to come into the picture and just magically get different treatment from the same person. And also, I just need to say that I called all of this in my cast reveal video. But I don't know. There's something about Scotty. I don't know what it is. But I'm going to keep my eye on him. Yeah, exactly. So now we're here with Mariah and Nick is nervous because he sees that JR is all about Sandy and JR is really considering leaving this experience with Sandy. Mariah tells Nick that in her conversation with Sandy, she expressed that she's having conversations and emotions with JR that she hasn't been able to have with Nick. And Mariah also tells Nick that Sandy says that she's been feeling neglected in this relationship. And Nick says, yeah, well, the same thing happened with my ex too. I got really comfortable. And then when I realized that I might lose her, I freaked out. I said, okay, so this is a pattern for you, Nicky boy. This is clearly a pattern. But he does say that he's hopeful that she can put her anger aside and show up for him the same way that she's been showing up for others. JR. But he is freaking out because he doesn't trust JR and he just knows in his heart that they're being physical because he feels that JR might really be falling in love with Sandy and now all of his greatest fears have been realized after that guy's night out. So now we're with Sandy and JR and Sandy tells JR that she reiterated to Zena how much he loves her and JR says, thank you. But I think that was a thank you for Sandy not telling Zena that they might have slept together. I think that's what that thank you is for. But I don't know. He also tells Sandy that Nick immediately apologized to him when they saw each other the other night. And he told him that he appreciated his apology, but his actions weren't cool. But hold up, Nick also told JR that Sandy was also reaching out to him and telling him how much she misses him. I said, that's good for you, JR. And Sandy was like, well, of course I missed him. We both expressed that to each other. And JR doesn't even ask her any follow-up questions about this. All this time, Sandy was giving the impression that Nick was harassing her, okay? That he was calling and texting her nonstop. And all this time, she was texting him too. No wonder he showed up at the apartment like that. And of course, Sandy is playing victim and she's saying that she's being pulled in so many different directions and this is so unfair. And what do you think she does next? Oh, of course. She starts crying. You don't even have to cry, Sandy. JR isn't even asking you anything else. You don't gotta put the tears on. It's okay. You can keep them inside. And instead of JR asking Sandy, hey, why weren't you honest with me about still being in contact with Nick and telling him that you miss him? When he came the other night, that could have been a dangerous situation for me. And I had no idea that y'all were still talking to each other. He doesn't ask her that. No, he just comforts her. And then she really leans into it. And she's like, oh, this is the BS that he does all the time. He'll own up to something and then he'll keep doing it. And this is so not fair to me. And then she tells JR that she doesn't even want to go back and do the trial marriage with him. Girl, whatever, you full of it. After all that crying, are you going to go and text Nick and tell him that you miss him? Is that what you're about to do? Yeah, okay. And now I'm wondering if all that texting that Sandy and Nick were doing back and forth is part of the reason why Vanessa decided to leave with Dave. I wonder. So there are only 4 days left till the changeover, and we see Caleb meet Arya's brother and sister-in-law, and they ask the usual questions, why did they choose each other? And Arya says that she really liked his mind the most. And Arya's brother was like, oh, so you calling him ugly? And they they had a cute laugh about that. And Arya says, of course not, but they just weren't expecting for their connection to grow this much. Caleb says that they had really deep conversations from their very first dates, and as they started hanging out more, they both noticed how much they had in common, how well they listened to each other, and how much they were able to laugh together. Big Bro asked them if this experience has given Arya any clarity on if she wants to stay with Scotty or not. Big Bro, do you know that Scotty be talking to your sister crazy? Do you know? You might need to regulate that, okay? Anyways, Arya says that she doesn't know yet, but what she does know is that Scotty always feels attacked by her. And because of that, he doesn't give her any accountability. And as we've seen, it doesn't take much for Scotty to feel attacked, rejected, intimidated. Scotty, go see the lady, okay? Arya says that she wants Scotty to be able to apologize up front instead of having to wait 3 to 4 business days for that apology. And when she said that, I was like, oh, okay. So remember, Arya says that in conflicts, she shuts down. But in the beginning of this episode, we see that Zena stayed with Scotty and she tried to calm him down. She gave him more of her energy that he did not deserve. And that is what Scotty wants. Scotty wants to be able to yell at you, talk to you crazy, and you just sit there and feed his ego with more attention until he's satisfied, like Zena did and like she's gonna do at the end of this episode. That really pissed me off, okay? Arya doesn't do that as much. She just separates herself and she leaves him alone, which makes him feel what? Even more rejected. And Arya says that she can't have a partner who treats her like her dad did because she wasn't able to pick her father, but she's able to pick her partner. And I said, oh, Arya's dad really did a number on her. And from what her brother said, he did a number on the both of them. Big Bro says that he actually sees a lot of similarities between Scotty and their dad. And he says that when he first met Scotty, he was not a fan. But he does try to let Arya live her life and make her own mistakes so that she can learn from them. Arya says that she really hopes that Scotty can see his flaws in this experience so that they can understand each other better. But if not, she's going to have to walk away from this relationship. But she does say that Caleb's qualities are the ones that she wants in her husband. In their confessional, Big Bro and sister-in-law, they say that they really like Caleb, and they also say that Arya appears to be happier and more of her authentic self with Caleb as opposed to when she's with Scotty the weirdo, all right? So now we are back with Zena and Scotty, and I don't even know how Zena didn't request her own separate apartment after Scotty's little temper tantrum, but here we are. So she asks him if there's anything else that he's trying to get out of this trial marriage, and Scotty says, regardless of how you feel, I've gotten a lot out of this trial marriage. And Zena says, why would you even project that? Like, why would you phrase it like that? And Scotty says, well, because this week has been very difficult. Scotty, that's your fault. You don't remember what happened? Yeah. Zena tells Scotty that a single moment doesn't define an entire relationship. It can though, Zena. It can though. I'm sure that there are many people who overlooked a single moment in a relationship, and when they look back, they can pinpoint the exact moment that they know they should have left, okay? But these two agree not to let that moment overshadow the amazing time that they've spent together so far. Scotty says that Zena taught him how to stop going in circles in an argument and try to find a resolution instead of always trying to be right. Is that what you learned, Scotty? Is that what you're going to demonstrate for us later? Is that what you're going to show the class? Okay, we'll see. He also says that it's not something that he's been able to do in the past, but this trial marriage has shown him that it's at least possible. Zena says that this experience has taught her not to be so independent in a relationship, but to instead find a healthy middle ground with her partner. So now we're with Sandy and JR, and she's telling him that he's had a bit of an attitude these past couple of days. And JR says, well, yeah, I'm still upset about the guys' night and everything that happened. And Sandy says, yeah, but you've been acting upset with me as well. And JR says that it's because she brought up the Nick situation and she also accused him of something. And Sandy says that she didn't accuse him of anything. She was just trying to ask for clarification. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about right now? Can you fill us in? And apparently she was asking for clarification on exactly how the conversation went with Nick. And JR doesn't seem to like that Sandy is doubting him or second guessing him. And he says that he feels like the past 3 weeks have been the Nick show. And he's absolutely annoyed by it because he says that no matter what Sandy does, if she blocks him, Nick will go through a friend. Nick will send a carrier pigeon and he still gets through to her. But JR, you seem to be forgetting the main person in this situation here. Sandy was texting Nick directly. There were no friends involved. and there were no pigeons. JR thanks Sandy for being with him throughout the experience, but he says he also doesn't like the fact that Nick has also gotten some of her attention during their time together because she's been trying to manage Nick's feelings and emotions. And Sandy says that although things have been kind of crazy, she wants them to enjoy their last 2 days together, have fun, and end everything on a good note. They apologize to each other, and then they discuss the upcoming changeover. JR says that he's a little bit nervous about how things are going to go with Zena and how things will go between Sandy and Nick. But what they say is they do know that they've made a genuine connection, and JR lets Sandy know that she means a lot to him and always will. So there's only 2 days left until the changeover, and we see Nick at a tattoo parlor, and I said, oh boy, what is this man about to do? What is he about to do? I thought that he was going to get "I'm sorry, JR" tatted across his chest. But in his confessional, he says that he's afraid that Sandy will be different, and he hopes that this isn't the end of them because that is not what he came here for. So, baby, Nick goes to take a look at this tattoo. And at first, I thought that he was crying. But he realizes that he sent the tattoo artist the wrong words to tattoo on him. And the tattoo artist is looking at him like, what? Nick, how did you mess this up? Like, how? Now, I don't have any tattoos, but you better believe that if I was to get one, I would be quadruple checking to make sure that what I'm getting is exactly what I wanted. Now, if I didn't believe it before, I really believe it now. Nick has really gone through it in this experience, but I feel like he should have known himself well enough to know not to bring his ass on this show. But him feeling really messed up is the only thing that could explain a mistake as big as this. He said that he meant to get "love conquers all," but instead he got something in Latin that I cannot pronounce, so I put it on the screen for y'all. But it's okay because he likes both of them, and he says that this is now something that he'll be able to look back on and laugh at, and maybe it's a sign that his energy isn't really in a love conquers all space at the moment. Nick, baby, Go get some sleep, okay? Go get some sleep. So now we see Zena and Scotty, and they're packing and they're cleaning and they're deciding what to eat. Everything is fine, right? Everything is hunky-dory. And Zena lets Scotty know that she ran into Arya at the gym today. And she says that they had a quick little conversation, and Arya told her about the aftermath of the guys' night and that he kind of accused her of having something to do with the rumors that JR confronted him about. And she says that Arya actually told her that she's also had a conversation with JR. And Zena says that when Arya told her that, she took it as, oh, so it seems like everyone has been talking to each other throughout this entire experience. And Scotty is like, yeah, everyone clearly is talking to each other because I don't know anyone who wakes up at 1:30 in the morning and takes their phone to the bathroom. Oh boy, here we go again. This guy is so annoying. Arya, how did you deal with this? How did you deal with this? And this man wants someone to have his babies and be attached to him forever? Could you imagine? Oh my goodness. So Zena says, first of all, why are you clocking when I go to the bathroom? Questions that need answers. He's a weirdo, Zena, okay? I told you in episode 1. And second of all, she doesn't take her phone to the bathroom all the time. And Scotty tells her that she's being super defensive and she's escalating this conversation. No, she is not, Scotty. And he is clearly fishing for a reaction from Zena. And at this point, I was praying that Zena didn't give him any of the attention that he was begging her for. Zena, you talked him through his bullshit last time. Don't do it again. Just pack your shit up and leave. And it's funny how Scotty tries to always call people out for escalating a situation like he's doing right now. And like he did with JR when he was asking JR at the guys event, oh, why are you upset? Why are you getting upset? But he's always the one who's yelling. Well, not at JR because we know he know better than to yell at JR because he's scared, okay? But when someone calls him out for yelling, he'll say, huh? I'm not yelling. I didn't say that. I didn't do that. That's not what I meant. And Zena calls him out on this. And she says, you always say things, but then you don't own up to what you're implying, which is 1000% true. And Scotty says, well, I'm just saying you definitely have your phone a lot and you're texting a lot. So to Scotty, that automatically means that Zena is texting JR. And Zena tells Scotty that he sounds dumb. And she also tells Scotty that he has an obsession with JR, and I started cracking up. And then this time, Scotty does the same thing that he did in the beginning of the episode. Me? I have an obsession with JR? And then he's like, no one cares about JR. Only JR cares about JR. And I don't even care about JR. And I said, yikes, Scotty. You clearly do. And he's like, how dare you tell me that I'm obsessed with JR? You're just deflecting. You couldn't come up with something better than that. When I tell you people like Scotty, you got to cut your energy off from them or they will drain you. Okay, Scotty is draining me and I'm just watching the show. And he's like, well, I just think that you're upset. That's why you're deflecting and that's why you're gaslighting. And Zena was like, boy, what do I have to be upset about? My life is great. My life is great, okay? This argument is exactly what Scotty wanted. He loves this shit. He really does. Do you know that if Zena had just stopped speaking to Scotty, put her headphones in her ear, packed her stuff up, and left, he would have lost his shit. Do you hear me? So Zena finally finishes packing, and then she goes to him and she says, I might go somewhere else for the night. And he just looks down at his phone and he's like, okay, for sure. And then she's like, I just feel like the fact that you keep holding on to this version of the truth and you think that I'm the one who influenced JR, it's very belittling. And the same way that you think that people are coming for your character, you're actually coming for mine. Every exit does not need a speech. Every exit does not need a speech. You don't always have to have this long conversation and explain yourself to people and tell them how much they've hurt you and all of that. I know sometimes it feels good to do. I know, right? But most times, these people know exactly how they've hurt you. You don't got to tell them. They're well aware of it. And the fact that Zena kept going back and forth with Scotty, wanting him to admit whatever it was that she wanted him to admit, I started getting annoyed with her because I'm like, girl, if you don't pick up your shit and leave this weirdo by himself, leave him alone. He doesn't deserve any more of your energy because all he's doing is lying and gaslighting and telling her that she's not making any sense and telling her that that's not what he meant and that's not what he said. This conversation is pointless. But Zena says, should I get JR on the line so that we can clear this all up? And Scotty says, you're too old to be acting this immature. You're 32. At some point, you need to hang up your drama jersey. And I said, okay, Scotty, you better read down. They need to put you on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. You would fit right in, okay? And Zena tells him, you know what? You think that you're so mature, but you're actually a child. And she laughs at him calling her a gaslighter because we all know that that is exactly what he is. And he told her, Zena, you're painting a very ugly picture of yourself with your true colors right now. This man is delusional and he has the self-awareness of a toddler. Zena then tells him that he doesn't deserve to experience her presence, and she lists all of her qualities and everything that she's done for him and how much she's been there for him over the past couple of weeks. You don't have to tell them. They know. They know, Zena. And do you know what Scotty said to her after she ran all of that down? He said, you don't got to do any of that. You're free to leave. I said, ooh, Scotty, I can't stand your ass. Oh, Scotty, I cannot stand your ass. And still Zena's like, I know, that's why I'm leaving. But it's just baffling to me that you don't believe me. Zena, who cares if this man believes you or not? He is nobody in your life. But finally, she takes her bags and she leaves, okay? And now we are only one day away from the changeover. And we see Arya and Caleb. And he tells her that up until this process, he was very concerned that he wouldn't make a good husband. And if he wouldn't make a good husband, then that means that he wouldn't make a good father. And he said that he actually settled with the idea that he would die alone. And that made me so sad to hear Caleb say, but I really like that he seems to be doing a lot of self-reflecting in this process. And you can tell by him saying that he doesn't just want a kid, okay? He actually wants to be a good father to his child. And a lot of people don't realize that there's a difference in that. But he does say that he's now more comfortable with the idea of having kids and having a wife. And Arya reassures him of his amazing qualities that will make him a great husband and father because he loves so hard. Caleb tells Arya that the ways that he sees her shows up for other people encourages him. And he says that her kindness makes everyone feel special. And it's a beautiful quality for a wife to have. And he then tells her that she will make someone very happy one day. And she tells him that this experience with him has helped her to trust herself. And now she knows that there are actually good men in the world. I really hope that this means that she has recognized that Scotty is a horrible man and she's gonna finally leave him. And in Arya's confessional, she says that she definitely wants Caleb in her life somehow, but she knows that Mariah definitely would not want her to be connected with him because she's already told her that. Okay, Mariah said, not my man. Go play with somebody else. But honestly, I don't think that that would be a good idea anyway. Just take what y'all have both learned from this experience and move on. But overall, this was a really wholesome and bittersweet moment between the two. So now we're at Sandy and JR's apartment, and they're in the bed, of course, that's where they be, and they're telling each other how much they've enjoyed their time together and how comfortable they've been with each other and how much they're going to miss their talks, and they discuss how much they've learned and challenged and motivated each other. And I'm like, yeah, but did y'all though? Did y'all do it? Because that's what we want to know the answer to. Y'all literally have this same conversation in every scene. We don't want to hear it. We don't care. Answer the question. In JR's confessional, he says that he can now see himself married to someone like Sandy, whatever that means, all right? So now we see all of the couples and they're arriving for the changeover. And as they walk in, I'm just saying a little prayer that Arya breaks up with Scotty as soon as they're all seated down at that table. Everyone is extremely nervous, and this is where the episode ends. Tell me all of your thoughts about this episode. I really enjoyed it, and I'll definitely be watching the next episodes as soon as I can so that I can get this video out to y'all. Let's talk about it all below in the comments. But before you leave, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Make sure that you hit that notification bell. Also, check out my Married at First Sight reviews. They're really good, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye!
About it. Roxiie says we're gonna talk about it.